Welcome back to the Ohio Small Business Spotlight, where every single week we sit down with fellow entrepreneurs because we know that as small businesses go, so go the community. I'm Tony Miltenberger with my co host, Greg Fay. Greg, tell everybody who our special guest of the week is. I'm so excited for this dialogue already.
Absolutely. Well, I'll full disclaimer. This is my primary care doctor right here, Dr. Charles Opperman. He's the owner of Simplicity Health Direct Care, Direct Primary Care, and they have built a business model that I think is going to be. I think the healthcare industry should take note because Stacy and I have absolutely loved the relationship that we have with Dr. Opperman. His wife Sarah works with him in the practice. His entire team does a great job. Dr. Opperman, we are so happy to have you on the Ohio Business Spotlight today, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Happy to be here.
Dr. Opperman, I love to kind of start people out with a genesis story. Now, you do concierge medicine that's a little different than most. When did you realize, like, first of all, I needed to start my own business and I needed to do something that was different than what everyone else is doing?
So it actually started in the middle of COVID, which is an odd time to start a business, let alone a medical practice. And I was employed at a big hospital network, and I was doing the normal hospital doctor stuff where I'm seeing. Sorry, my dog is here. He's itching himself.
Perfect. We love it.
I'm doing the. Okay, I'm going to let you out. I'm doing the normal hospital stuff, seeing 25, 30 patients a day. And COVID happened, and no one wanted to come into the doctor. And so my employer at the time basically said, well, we're going to start cutting your salary, cutting your pay. And it got me thinking, like, well, this is really unfair. Like, it's not my fault that no one wants to come, everyone's scared to see the doctor. What are the alternative models out there? And that's when I came across direct primary care. So essentially, we take no insurance whatsoever. We've cut out insurance completely from the game, and we charge a membership fee. It's essentially like Netflix for your doctor. Most of our patients actually have insurance. Most of them have good insurance, but they still choose to come to our practice because we stand for the highest quality care, which is that concierge aspect. Whenever patients need an appointment, they can get an appointment. It's not waiting 3 weeks to get in to see the doctor. And then on top of that, we can save them a lot of money because what a lot of people don't realize is the insurance price is not always the best price. To give you an idea, our five local hospital that offers the same 5 blood tests that I would offer for those 5 tests charge around $1,200. After you're done with insurance, maybe you pay 20% of that. So you get stuck with this $250 bill. And a lot of patients say, oh, gee, good thing I have insurance. Otherwise, I'd have been on the hook for all $1,200. But what no one tells you is the cash price that the hospital is paying for that is around $30. So that's what we charge. We just charge $30 and we can save patients a lot of money. Plus, they get that concierge level care. So to answer your question, it was basically COVID that said, wait a second, we're putting profits in front of patients here. And I don't like this. And so I found a different way.
I tell you, I could speak from Stacy and I's perspective because we're coming up on a year now being with you and your team. But instead of using my words, would you share just some of the things that people have said that have been complimentary? I'm certain that's where most of the things come from. Things like, boy, I didn't know something like this existed, or a difference that you made. And if you could share just kind of some of the success stories that patients have shared with you.
Greg, there's, I don't, I'm really bad at I don't know, accepting compliments. That's not why I'm doing this. But I guess maybe I'll answer that question with some things that we've done for patients that is quite a bit different than what you might expect at the doctor's office. And not necessarily how those patients responded, because again, I'm not interested in that. I'm sure they're grateful, but things that we do, if someone has chemotherapy coming up, we will put together a basket full of hydrating fluids and candles and I don't know, whatever that person likes, and we give them a gift basket, and just say, hey, you're going through a tough time. There's a government furlough going on right now. People that come to us and say, hey, listen, I can't pay my membership fee because I'm out of work. We say, don't worry about it. You don't pay us. Pay us what you can. Or someone loses their job. Pay us what you can, or pay us when you can. We are not. I tell patients all the time, I tell people all the time that I make horrible business decisions on purpose, because I believe that if you do the right thing, it comes back to you. And so I think our business has been successful in that regard because we're always focused on doing the right thing for people. And I think that's where healthcare gets it wrong. Is our health system is so focused on the bottom line anymore that patients have all of a sudden taken a back seat. And I think patients want to feel like they have a relationship with their doctor. They want to feel like the doctor's office truly cares, and that's what we're bringing back to healthcare.
One of the unique things about this is that it's countercultural to what the majority of people doing. And there's a lot of business owners that we talk to that are making countercultural moves. What's it like in your peer group, which also happen to be specialized, very intelligent? Like this is, when I'm sure you're in rooms with other doctors all the time and everyone's like, oh, that's interesting. What has it been like for you to experience, maybe backlash isn't the best term, but the second looks of being countercultural?
Yeah, that's a good question. In fact, probably more often than not, I get emails or phone calls from other doctors asking if we're hiring, because they want to escape that as well. I would say that, on average, I probably get one doctor per month asking if we're hiring or how can I do this for myself. And I'm always trying to help other doctors kind of escape that because I feel like it's not the best way. And so just coming up this coming Friday, I'm meeting with another physician, teaching him everything that I know about setting up his own direct primary care practice, and he's going to be direct competition to me. And we don't care because this is just a better way to practice. So I think more often than not, I'm getting people that are wondering how they can join us. Those folks that may have criticism or maybe be envious or whatever the backlash, whatever the word is, I think that they're just simply not, they don't understand how our practice works. I think that they think that we're charging patients $20,000 a year to be members and it's this exclusivity club. That's not true at all. I have patients that work very low income jobs. I have patients that are frankly millionaires, and I treat them all the same. I think that the backlash, for your term, comes from this idea or misconception that we're just treating the elite of society, and that's the farthest thing from true.
I would add one thing. You were being humble when you said some of the complimentary things. I would say one thing that really is dollars and cents. I love the examples that you gave, and it's not hard for me to believe that those are the things that you do. But I think of my own personal situation where you took on me as a patient right before I was getting ready to have shoulder replacement surgery. And I got the orders from my doc to get an MRI and a CAT scan, of course, through the network that they wanted me to. And it totaled almost $7,500. And I brought them into you, and you were able to share an alternate with me that was less than $1,000, and the exact same, everything still worked. But what a question. I just wanted to put that comment in there because I want people to kind of know when you say that you make a difference when it comes to cost. It's real. But what are some of the things that, as you and Sarah have got this going right here, what are some of the things that you didn't expect to trip you up? Business owners are such a unique group of people. And sometimes we can think that we can plan for absolutely every scenario and there's something that's hiding in the bushes on us, and it jumps out, and we didn't expect it to. What's one thing, if you can think of something, what's one thing that kind of jumped out of the bushes at you that you guys weren't expecting?
Yeah, I mean, I think I knew that it was going to be hard from the start, and I've always heard that whatever the mantras are, it takes 5 years to become profitable, or whatever things people say about businesses. And I'm not sure how much of any of that is true or whatever, but I knew that it was going to be hard. But I think the first 6 months to a year of one day going home and saying, why did I do this? I failed my family. We're gonna be broke, living on the street. To the next day, a roller coaster where things went well, and people are highlighting our practice, or a news story comes out about our practice, and you kind of feel like you're on top of the world. That roller coaster of emotions is really difficult. And then maybe another thing would be, as a physician, maybe, and this is probably me specific, I didn't take any courses in marketing or accounting or HR, any of this stuff. It's stuff that I just kind of had to learn on the fly. And probably the one thing that was hiding in the bushes, to use your terminology, was the tax implications. I had no idea that there was self-employment taxes that I had to pay on a quarterly basis. And so when I met with my accountant after that first year, I got sprung with, oh, you owe the IRS this much money, and that was something that was I was not prepared for.
Nobody ever is. That's the worst. It's the worst. Let me ask you this. You've kind of built a team that are all self-aligned. People want to join your team. There are a lot of business owners who are listening right now who are thinking about expanding. They're thinking about hiring the next right fit. How do you decide, especially in a business like yours that's incredibly personal? It matters, right? You're bringing on members every single day. How do you decide who's the right next yes
Yeah.
for the Simplicity Health team?
Yeah, we're actually going through that right now. We've just added a physician just 3 or 4 months, actually longer than that, 6 months ago. She's basically filled her practice, and so as I mentioned, I'm constantly sort of getting physicians that want to join our practice, and we've built our practice on we want the highest possible quality that we can get. And so we are very, very, very picky. It's just, our brand. And so we're actually adding a fourth physician very, very soon. So to expand and meet the needs of the Dayton community. But yeah, I say a lot of no's before I say a lot of yeses. When we brought on our last physician, I'm not sure that the timing was right, but one of the things that I think I've heard from other physicians in this space is it's always better to hire the right person at the wrong time than the wrong person at the right time. And so whenever we come across, that person or that physician that we're like, no, we can't let this person go, we find a way to make it work.
Boy, you just gave us a nugget to take out of this right here. I love that saying, the advice that you received. It's better to hire the right person at the wrong time than the wrong person at any time, really. You said something that we hear as a common thread from business owners, at least the ones that are ultra successful, and that's excellence. You talked about, you look for excellence. You described it as the best possible care that someone can receive. And defining excellence has to be, I know hiring the right person will help you with being able to carry that baseline of excellence. But are there anything else that you do? Because we hear that so frequently. Is there anything else that kind of in your mind sticks out as something that you do in an excellent fashion that maybe another business like yours could take on, or just an example of that right there?
You know, that's a hard question to answer. I think it goes back to what I said before. And, the whole direct primary care model, this non insurance model, is countercultural to some degree. And I think we've talked on that. And so, for me, business, I've already told you that I'm a bad business person. And so I think that practicing business in a countercultural fashion is how I would define, I guess, our definition of excellence. It's doing the right thing for people, even when it's not the right thing financially. That's what I look at as excellence is, my background, my faith play an important role in my life, and the most important role in my life. And I believe that on Judgment Day, it's not going to matter how successful your business was. It's not going to matter how much money you made, or how much people like you. My definition of excellence is doing the right thing always.
I love that. I love leaning in, doing the right thing always. That brings me to one of the questions that I love to ask business leaders who are in industries like yours that are really hard to measure, right? Because you could look at the number of clients, but that measurement is what got a lot of healthcare into trouble in the first place. You could look at how often your clients need you, which is not necessarily what you want either, even though people are healthier. You could look at like just customer satisfaction, but then that requires a whole different set of scopes and skills. So as you and your partners sit down at the end of the year or in preparation for the next year, what is the measurement of success that you lean on the most to know, hey, we hit our goals this year, we did a good job, or this is what this looks like? What's the right balance of all of that?
That's really funny that you say that too. And again, I'm going to keep giving you these like countercultural answers that you're probably not expecting from a business. And so I just sent out kind of I don't know what the term is for it, like a state of the union or state of our practice to all of our employees. And essentially it was, are you happy coming to work every day? Do you enjoy what you do? Do you feel like what you're doing is fulfilling? Do you feel like it's, like you're finding meaning in what you're doing? Because what we're doing is important. People's lives are at stake. Do you like your coworkers? Do you like your boss? Do you like me? Is there anything that gives you angst about coming to work? And so for me, our goals, the things that are important, are not financially driven. When I sit down at the end of the year, as long as we're staying afloat, I'm paying, we're making payroll every month. I have enough money to, occasionally treat myself to Outback Steakhouse or something. I'm good. And what's important for me, again, is, just establishing this different way of practicing medicine. And I think it starts with my employees or our practice and physicians, because they're the ones delivering care. And if they're happy, it's going to rub off, and it'll make patients happy, and it will allow them or want to go the extra mile to do everything that's right for them. So I think that, at the end of the year or whatever, when I judge how successful we were, happiness is my happiness, and the happiness of our staff is how I judge success.
I've got to believe that that's going to contribute to a great deal of success right there, because you're speaking of common things all the way through everything that you do. You're not just talking about that a patient or a member have the best possible experience, but you're talking to your staff, and not only, you obviously have that expectation of them, but you're asking them for feedback, which has to make them feel welcome and wanted. I want to chime back to just one of the things when I was thinking about one of the things that you do to make a difference. I know that when Stacy and I sat in with you, the initial interview ran over an hour, and it was one of the most, and I've sat through medical interview questionnaires, but none of it was that. It was all about what our expectation was, what exactly we could expect from you. There was a great deal of time put into that orientation, if you will. So it gave me a good feel. And then to sit in an appointment with you, it wasn't I've got someone sitting in the room next to me. I mean, it was, I think we've sat in a room for as much as 40 minutes at one time talking about, things going on. And I love all the additional things. So I just wanted to, I guess I don't have a question here. I just wanted to reinforce the fact that I love the common, all of the things that you say, you guys walk it and you guys talk it. And it doesn't surprise me that it's easily become the DNA on how your office works right there. Tony, I guess I didn't have a question there. I just wanted to reinforce what he said. So I'm going to bounce it back to you for a question.
Well, when you've talked about your values kind of inadvertently, but it's clear that you're a very value-driven business, or one of the terms that I really like is double bottom line, right? You have your normal bottom line, but then the bigger bottom line. How do you make sure that your teammates, your employees, your other doctors, how do you make sure that those values echo through every person that walks up and down your halls?
Yeah, I think it's a great question. I think it starts with who we hire, right? So I mentioned that we are very, very picky about who we hire, and we put a really high emphasis on that. I think, our physicians is one thing, but just hiring our nursing staff, the last nurse that we hired, I think that we probably interviewed people, maybe 25, 30 people for 3 months. Before we finally found somebody that I said, well, this is somebody that, aligns with what we do. And so, this little nugget, Greg, I'm sure that you've heard this one before, but I think it also is true that you should hire slowly and fire quickly. And fortunately, I haven't had the unfortunate experience of firing yet, because we do hire so slowly. So I hope I never have that experience, but.
Boy, I love all of that right there. There's been so many things that, and this is unusual. I'm gonna tell you something. You have been an unusual guest, because Tony and I are always a little bit worried about, does the guest get an opportunity to give full explanation on the services that they provide or the product that they sell? You've really found a way to weave in what the DNA of your office looks like, your hiring practice, which any business owner is going to take away that nugget there. Both of the things that you gave there. If you took a look into 2026, if you're more comfortable saying something that you're looking at that may look different in your practice, or is there something coming in the industry that even members that are now members would go, whoa, that is definitely taking it to the next level right there? What are you seeing, and what are you guys thinking about?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that there's anything that is, revolutionary. I think AI in medicine is very interesting. We use a lot of AI. Of course, we would never use it without patient permission, so we always, acquire their permission to use it. But I use it for scribing and documentation. But it's good. It's good in medicine to help sometimes with diagnosis. So I'm not the perfect doctor. I don't know everything. I don't think that exists. And so sometimes when I don't know a diagnosis, or maybe there's something that I haven't seen in a long time, I can query AI and say, hey, do you have any other ideas here? It spits out some stupid stuff sometimes too. And so I think that it's not quite there, and we still need physician discernment. But I think that is revolutionizing healthcare, and I think that will continue to grow and also lead to therapeutics and better diagnostics. I think it will make us healthier if the robots don't all take our jobs first. But other than that, I think that DPC, direct primary care, is growing. CBS Evening News just last week did a big story on direct primary care. and it's gaining more and more national attention. So I think that we've seen a lot of in the past year or two why people don't like health insurance companies. Even to the point where my dog is itching himself again, but even to the point where the health insurance CEO, was murdered, which is not great.
Right.
But I think it shows that there's public outrage, and something has to change, right? And so I think that health insurance right now with the government furlough, and that's a big part of politics right now. It's just been front and center lately, the cost of healthcare and the quality of healthcare. And so I don't know that anything is changing, but I do see that I think what we're doing in healthcare, this sort of direct primary care revolution or outside of insurance healthcare, I think that's growing, and I don't foresee that changing.
Hey, Tony, I want to say one thing real quick before you bring us home. And I love how AI, Tony and I have talked about it quite a bit, and there's quite a bit of, it's so fast moving, but I love the two things that you said. Number one, with permission, and I can personally attest to that, but also that, recognizing that human sovereignty or doctor sovereignty still rules. You may get information from AI. You said some of it sometimes didn't make sense, but ultimately it's used simply to make you a better doctor and not be a doctor for you. I think a lot of people would appreciate that, because that's that you in one of your parting comments you said, are the robots going to take over? And I don't necessarily think that's how it has to be. I think it can be made to make somebody a better doctor, make somebody a better insurance agent, make somebody a better executive business coach. So thank you for pointing out those two things right there.
Mm-hmm.
So good. So many wonderful things here. All right, Doc, before we go, we have one question that we love to ask people. We're so thankful for your time together today. We love to ask people, what are 3 local businesses that we need to talk to here on the Ohio Business Spotlight? Who do you got in mind?
He already said Outback Steakhouse, Tony. You got to give him credit for Outback Steakhouse.
I'm not.
There you go,
Outback
right?
is not local.
I think the 3 that I would say, Nutmeg Cafe. It's
Love
kind of a neighbor
Nutmeg,
to where
yes.
Cactus sits. They are awesome. They make great food, great coffee. Their owners are fantastic. We just love them there. We eat there all the time and order food, and I think it's it's not processed stuff. It's good. So we like them a lot. Let's see. It's called Vintage Southern Designs, also kind of a neighbor of ours. They sell local Centerville, Springboro based t-shirts and stuff that my wife buys all the time. Full disclosure, I've not been in there shopping, but I have seen the stuff that they have. I think it's really cool. And Tanya is the owner over there, and we've known her we've been partnered up in a tent next to her at different festivals over the years while we're trying to grow our practice, and she's growing her business, and she's a great person, and we really want a lot of success from her. And then I think, I don't know if they need our help as much, but Sugar Valley Golf Course is where I play golf. And Dalton Dodd is the owner over there, and he owns Jasper Hills as well. By all accounts, I've never played Jasper Hills until he's owned it, but by all accounts, he's turned that golf course around. And I've been a member at Sugar Valley Golf Course for the past 10 years, and Dalton has really come in and done a fantastic job out there as well. So I think those would be the 3 that I would suggest.
Love it. I love it. I just had lunch with somebody who's a member at Sugar Valley. He was recruiting me really hard. So,
yeah,
Greg, we should do it. Come on.
You threw something out to me at the beginning of the season about.
I know.
I bet if you get Dalton on here, you'll get some comp golf and golf.
That will be my next email as far as that goes. But yeah, Jasper Hills, I've seen.
He's done an incredible job. Both those places. Yeah.
That's a great save he made there.
Yeah.
Well, friends, that's our podcast for today. As always, we're forever thankful for you, the small business leader who tunes in every single week, as we learn from each other, because we both know that as the community grows, it's dependent upon small businesses and big businesses, and just how we all lean together in this kind of world that we call Earth. So thankful for you guys. Remember to hit that subscribe button on YouTube and share this episode with a friend. Until next time, on behalf of Greg and Dr. Opperman,